So I'm actually going to be fairly to the point. Get that in a better angle. Today, because usually I just kind of straff shite and I wouldn't watch me spraffing shite for however long I do. Yeah, so got home from the gym about 5 minutes ago. Went to the toilet. I literally, like, today was meant to be a busy day with PTing, but worked out it wasn't, so happy days. So trained back, nice heavy session. I just made a post on Instagram, kind of going into depth about like mental health stuff. And everything's broken. Because I think it's Mental Health Awareness Day tomorrow. I'll probably do a video the weekend. Actually going into this, like my own mental health and how I've dealt with it is like it wasn't the traditional approach that helped me. I guess you could say it was tough love that helped me. Tough love that helped me. But anyway, so nice big session. So this is why I go off on tangents. I press record and start doing stuff, and then my mind goes away. Genuinely had a plan. Just write it down. Yeah, so go home from the gym. Time to have a shake, make some foods, and chill out. I've actually started making all my shakes with milk. Need more protein. Purely because I am staying a little bit leaner, so the room for treats and things being a little bit tastier and going with the higher calorie options is there. Like, this is condition 46 weeks out. And it's not like I'm being so I'm not doing any cardio. I should be for heart health, but I've got enough to do in a day. Plus milk just makes shakes taste better, especially if you blend it. Anyway, so really good session. This will be day 1. Chuck some ice in there because it's cold. This will be day 1 of the new off-season plan that Andy has came up for me, which is quite interesting. The way he's kind of planned everything out is not massively different how I would do it, or how I've been doing it, or done in the past with previous coaches. It's just a different take on it. It's coming at it from a different angle, which is quite interesting. So it will be fun to see what happens. See if I can become a bigger miniature gorilla. No one wanted to hear the noisy blender. So yeah, so to continue on with said off-season plan, it'll be drug-wise, it's 250 milligrams of test Benanthe and 200 milligrams of EQ every other day, and then 2 years of growth in the morning and 2 years post-workout. Though I think that second lot of growth is dependent on the brand I got, and I forgot the name, and I don't know much about it because I've never used it. So that's going to be, it might just be 2,000. Not that you guys care. Yeah. My training will not change. If anything, my training will go down. Just with my workload at the moment. And I'm trying to balance my stress as well as I can. But what I'm trying to do this year, achieve with my life in the next 2 to 3 years, requires a lot. And that trade-off, in my opinion, is totally worth it. And so that's the problem. I personally think that's the problem with a lot of people when it comes to fitness goals, any goal in life. People look at what they got to give up. They look at what other people are doing in their life and they're like, nah, I'm not doing that. Or it comes to it and they'd still rather be like everyone else. What I mean by that is like, especially I think in British society, British culture, it's common to go out the weekend, get drunk and party Friday to Saturday. It's common to like chill when you get home, have a takeaway or two throughout the week, take it nice and easy. It's common to not challenge yourself. It's common, I don't want to say do the bare minimum as in be lazy, as in do the bare minimum in terms of life regarding like chasing your goals. Because there's very few people I've known and I've met like personally that inspire me, that like they've chased their own goals and they've got that like fuck balance, work as hard as you can till you get to where you want to go. I've not met that many people in my life. It's more common in the fitness industry, but you've got egos in the fitness industry and everyone thinks they're like a big man because they're like that. Oh, fuck off. I don't mean that in like a bad way. Like if you are like that, if you do enjoy having a takeaway the weekend or two and going out and partying, that sound like, do you? But if you're complaining about not being where you want to be and doing that, you don't have a leg to stand on. Like, shut up. Because the people that are chasing the goals aren't complaining about said trade-off. So like, I think it's more because the way my mum raised me and how, and like what she does as a job. Like she's been self-employed as long as I can remember. So I've seen my mother from a very young age do that trade-off on a daily basis. And I've also seen my dad on the other end of it not do that trade-off and complain. So from a very young age I've had that a reminder of, like, you make those sacrifices and you do the work, you might be very indifferent, but you're going to achieve your goals. And that, to me, that's more important than going out every other weekend with my friends and getting drunk. Like, I can do that when I'm 40. Not that I would, but there's probably a theme of how I've said that is common. One of my biggest goals is to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. I stole that from David Goggins. I think he says it a lot in his book, and he said it in his on the podcast he's on with Joe Rogan. I think the first one. If you don't know who it is, Google it. That guy is the definition of grind. I hate that word grind because it sounds really cringy, and the fitness industry have ruined it. But yeah. But anyway, I'm all good. Really good session tonight. The first couple movements, like, so I did 2 sets straight arm pull down, just like pumpy sets. 2 sets T-bar row. The first one felt dynamite in terms of positioning. The second one, not so much. I find if I get my position bang on, I get that position straight away as soon as I lift that bar, I can just go, similar to like barbell rows. But if I struggle to like get locked into that position and get my stability right, I will struggle, and it won't be just my back work, it'll be like a bit of a hump to move the weight up, and I hate that. It drives me nuts because it's not my back working, it's everything else. But nonetheless, still manages to keep it relatively tight. I am an absolute perfectionist when it comes to form. Form is one of those things that you can never not improve on. It can always get better. There's always room for improvement. You can always make it 0.5% better. So yeah, then I did 2 sets of like 1 arm standing row on the row machine I've got at my gym, at my work. It's similar to like the I forgot what you call it. I think it's like ISO row. The hammer strength one, basically a seated row machine, plate loaded. You'll see it in the video. Basically, I stand behind the seat and brace myself with my not working arm, the arm I'm not using, and pin my hip against the seat, and I drive down. So I'm going to do this movement down with the working arm. I find it makes the bottom of my lat. 2 seconds. Just for the people that don't know their anatomy, I find it makes this part of my back here contract damn hard. And I find with free weight movements, barbell row, T-bar row, 1 arm dumbbell rows, medals rows, or any like I've never trained in gyms where there's a lot of kit and equipment, so it's quite hard to hit certain parts, especially your back, without it. Nonetheless, I've got away pretty well. But doing that movement just hits it right in the perfect spot if you do it right. And you don't have to overextend, because when you're here, the strength curve of it is pulling your arm up at that kind of angle. So it's similar to the stretch you'd get like a straight arm pull down, which is really nice. And it's okay for my bad shoulder. 2 sets on that. 1 heavy failure set on a normal machine, or just sitting on it. That I should have given myself more time on that set. Today I felt very like set to set, very, very sluggish. And if you follow me on Instagram, which you most likely will, that is where what I'm on about in that post with the deadlift. That's where that came from, just because I was feeling sluggish and it's kind of like self-doubt got in my head. Anyway, so machine row was right. A little bit, it was heavier than last time on this rotation, this session, but I still managed to feel it. I still got my elbows right back. So my focus is never the weight. My focus is always how well I can move it. And if I'm feeling stronger, or the previous time I did that exercise, I was at the top end of that rep range, that's when I move up the weight. My focus is never more weight, more weight, more weight. My focus is always better reps and more reps. Probably doesn't come across that clearly on my Instagram. Yeah, and then from there, 2 sets of deadlifts, a set of 4 to 6, and a set of 7 to 10. I always end up getting like the bare minimum in terms of my rep range on deadlifts. I like deadlifts. You don't need to do them to have a good back. I just connect well with them. I've been doing them for so long, I can remember a time I wasn't deadlifting. Favorite movement. If we're only doing one thing, it'd be that. Yeah. Got a really big PB, 290 for 4, and it felt easy. Which is quite nice, because this is me going into an 18-week cycle. So I know within this 18-week cycle, I'm going to pull some big numbers with finishing this cruise at 290 for 4. considering it the start of the year. And like a year ago, this is when I finished prep, I was pulling like 260 for 6 as a top set. So I've added roughly about 30 kilo to my top set in about a year, which is quite good. A lot of people won't think that's impressive, but as you get stronger and stronger and stronger, it becomes harder. I find it's harder to improve. To add 10 kilo, to add that 20 kilo, it's just harder because there's a big difference between like 140 kilo to 145. There's a big difference between going 140 to 145, or fuck that, between going like 60 to 70 compared to like 290 to 300. It's still only 10 kilo, but the people that follow me and the people that are dealing with those types of weights will understand what I'm on about. Then from there, 2 sets of pull-ups. I'm trying to keep them as strict as I can with keeping my body upright and not kind of like lifting my chest and doing that and arching, because then that's not what the focus is. My focus is to hit the upper back, the like rhomboids, teres major, and get that stretch. That's one of the main reasons I'm doing it. And then from there, dumbbell pullover, but that may change. Just because I was absolutely gassed at the end of that session when it came to pullovers. So I may do like dumbbell pullover, rather than dumbbell pullover, I might do like a cable pullover or like a reverse grip pull down. Just a variation. I like pullovers, but I reckon between that and like a rack chin or pull up, they're probably your 2 hardest. Vertically pulling from above you movements for your back are probably those 3 are your hardest ones, unless you've got like hammer strength machines or like a Nautilus pullover or something like that. Unless you're blessed with like amazing kit in your gym. If you're just working with a bare minimum, those are the 3 hard ones in my opinion. So yeah, it was a really good session. I set some decent numbers to like improve on. I tend to end up like kind of dropping some exercises out when my weight on said exercises gets to a point where keeping my form where I want it to be is challenging. That's when I start or swap exercises out, which is what I'm trying to avoid doing. So rather than doing like big jumps and focusing on weight, that's why I'm focusing on like perfect reps and perfect form right now, as the strength will come. I actually had a funny conversation today. The point in my gym is literally what I'm talking about. Is like I heard this years ago when I was younger, and I never really clicked until now, till like past couple months. Is that strength comes first, muscle comes later. Like for all my physiology training nerds out there, they'll understand what I mean, because strength largely is down to setting down the neuromuscular pathways in your body. That's why you can get absolute twigs deadlifting more than me. I don't mean that in a nasty way, it's just you don't need to be big to move big weight. But hypertrophy and building muscle is about repetition, and time in the gym. Time in the gym, putting the work in. It's like building a wall. So like the weights I was using and moving 2-3 years ago aren't that far off massively than what I'm doing now. Genuinely, because I still was pressing 70s on incline dumbbell press 2017. I was still squatting 220-ish 2017. I was still deadlifting 240, 250, 260. They're my top sets for 4. They're now my back off sets, but still using those weights. That's what I was doing 3 years ago. Still rolling like 180, 160 3 years ago. It's just I've been using and working with such heavy weights over and over and over again, never backing off, never going lighter for like 2-3 years now. That's where the repetition comes in, and the muscle is starting to come through, and that dense tissue is starting to lay down. So it does make me laugh, especially when I get certain clients or like people. I'll speak to people and I want to look like this in like 12 weeks. I'm like, mate, like you don't realize how long your goal is. You don't realise how like long, I don't want to say the journey because it's cringy, but it is. Like, it's a journey, and you gotta love training to achieve that type of physique. Like, I'm not the biggest. I like my physique now, but it's taken a long time to be like, alright, I'm a big lad. I still don't think I'm big though. Like, I'm big, but I'm not as big as I want to be. But it takes time. Like, I've been training since I was 16. Training hard, putting a good shift in since I was about 16. So I'm 23 now, so what, 7 years? Like, I can't, the thing that gets me excited is that I can't wait to see where I'm at when I'm 30, when I'm 28, 29, 30, when I'm 26. After a good 10 years of training. Just, that's what you should be focusing on. It's like, don't focus on, it's been 4 weeks and I've not progressed. It's like, dude, fucking calm down. No, like, literally, Rome wasn't built in a day. Take your time with it. Enjoy the process. Because, like I said in that Instagram post about smelling the roses, is you ain't doing this for anyone else. So you gotta enjoy it. You gotta learn to love it and enjoy it and get the enjoyment out of it and have fun with it, because otherwise you're gonna drive yourself fucking bonkers. You should know. I've done that. But yeah, anyway, so this, because I didn't train last week, whatever, I'll explain that in the next video. Because I didn't train last week, this is last week's episode. So you'll get 2 this week, purely because as much as I'm stressed, I don't actually have that much for college to do. So I've got a little bit more free time on my hands. Watch the training video that is next. That way. Like it, comment on it, subscribe it, share it, all that shit.